I am live. Hello. Hello, everyone. Everyone who is here. I am going to do what I usually do and start linking everywhere. This is my favorite thumbnail ever. It's so cute. I didn't realize, I guess I forgot, that promo art I did a while ago, the three of them, I actually made it so like they're three separate pictures of them. So I can use them for thumbnails and things. I didn't realize that. Gonna be working on bonus Patreon content today. Oh man. Okay, that's tweeted, and then I can put it Discord. Boop. Cool. Hello, Mars. Welcome. It's the clown. Hello, both of you. But I don't know if I have anything to say before getting this started. Sorry if I'm like kinda just low energy right now. I'm actually very nauseous. And I don't know how long this stream will last. Maybe I'll try to get to an hour. But I shall see. I have my stomach ease tea. But how's everybody? What's good, as Mars says. So what I'm going to be working on, I guess I could talk about that. That's important. What I'm going to be working on is I'm going to be working on a Silas reference sheet. This is going to be exclusive to patrons probably for a bit, and then maybe after the game is released I can release everybody's like full in-depth reference sheets. I've been wanting to do this for a while because I don't really have any like in-depth references. I just have kind of like the final designs that I solidified during certain streams. But like sometimes people want in-depth references because they want to draw like the character in different kinds of clothing or no clothing. Whoa. And they don't know what they look like. So this is gonna be fun. I don't know if I might have streamed me making a reference sheet. I'm not sure. But you can see my process. Wait, let me pop out the chat so I can read it while I'm working. What? Okay. Oh, Ninja. Welcome. No, it's not like... I said really nauseous. I'm not like... It's like bearable nausea. It's not like I feel like I'm gonna throw up nausea. It's just kind of like... Oh. Not like I want to go to sleep. It's like I still want to hang out with everybody. Still want to do this. I might turn on some music. Hang on. This case isn't here right now. To music. They may be later. Maybe. I'm doing alright. You know what? I realized this stream is gonna be probably gonna be... I'm gonna be smack talking some Spyro 2. Apologies to anybody who likes Spyro 2. It might even just be... No, it's probably not just the remake. But I recently got... Sorry, I'm gonna be burping a lot. Sorry. Oh, this is probably gonna be really loud. No, wait, hang on. That's not bad. How's that? How's that sound? That's probably fine. Was gonna play some Warframe tonight, but we've had a heat wave and that game makes my computer run like a volcano and I don't want to melt. So do you have your laptop in your lap when you play Warframe? Okay. So I guess we're gonna talk games. Let's go. So I've been playing... I just got the Spyro Reignited trilogy. It was somewhat an impulse buy. I just saw that there was a summer sale and it was half off, and I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to play the remake of Spyro. See, the thing is, I grew up with the first Spyro. I did play the second and third ones, and I remember really liking them as a kid. I did like them a lot. I remember specifically having a crush on Hunter when he looked like a Muppet. But since I only played the second and third games once, I was really excited to play them again. Because I'm like, oh man, since these are like less familiar than the first game, that's going to be really exciting. Because it's going to still be like a nostalgia trip, but in a different way than the first game. Because I played the first game so much. I played it so much. I played the crap out of that game from like age 5 to 12. Not 12, like 13. Because I 120%ed it when I was 13, finally. I had it on like 98% most of my childhood. Yeah, I'm gonna close the door. Block out any residual noise. So, of course I like zipped through the first game, mostly because I was excited to like finally get to the second and third games, after not playing them so long. But so I started the second game. First of all, I love the characters. I love Hunter. I love Alora. I even love the Professor. They are so cute. They are so adorable. And the redesigns especially are so good. The animations, the character animations for everybody, oh, it's beautiful. The first game has all like the dragons that you rescue completely redesigned. There's there are 80 dragons, I think, that have completely individual designs. And I'm like, holy cow. This is insane. But so the first game, it's mostly just here, go to this level, collect everything if you want. Well, like let me familiarize everyone with the way that the first Spyro works, because I really liked this how it worked. So the first Spyro, there are how many homeworlds? There's artisans, peacekeepers, magic crafters, beastmakers, dreamweavers, and Nasty's Nexus. There's 6. Technically 5. So these 6 homeworlds, they're like little hub worlds, right? And so I'm like slow talking. My ADHD is like, I don't know if anybody else in the chat has ADHD or something similar, But if there's any like talking going on at all, or noise to any degree, I cannot talk. Like, I will be trying to have a conversation with somebody at a party, and if somebody else is talking, I cannot continue the conversation. It's so hard for me to focus. Anyway, I'm trying my best. I am trying my best. So you have these hub worlds, and each hub world has like 3 levels, plus like a bonus flying level, and then a boss level. The cool thing is, to get to the next home world, you have to meet a certain requirement. So the first world, you have to like rescue a certain amount of dragons. So you don't have to finish all the levels in each homeworld. You can just meet a certain requirement and then be on your way. So you can finish the game really fast, honestly, if you're just efficient and you're collecting. Oh man. These are legs for days. I love shoujo proportions, I'm sorry. Yeah, autism and ADHD are very hand in hand. Very similar. So if I like hear anything going on in the room outside, I'm like, whoa. What's going on? Oh boy. Okay, let me see if I can change these. Okay, that looks a more better. So I really liked that setup with Spyro, though it does like make it like really easy to finish the game really fast. But the cool thing I like about like games of that era is it's really easy to beat them. It's hard to 100% them. And I am absolutely the kind of person that wants to 100% a platform game. So that's where the challenge lies, is when you want 100% a game. And it's very accessible to like a child, which those games are made for. God, I don't even have my earbuds plugged in, but I can hear the music slightly and it's throwing me off. This is the problem I have. What even song is this? What is this? Let me put this in for a second. I can't even tell what this is. Oh, this is Surreptitious. Duh. Okay. It was just at a certain part that I couldn't recognize. Okay. Refa sheet. I forgot. Silas got titty. Tiny titty. A little more like average titty. Tiny to mini artists. These are very small. This arm is long. As I was saying about Spyro, that like process of finishing the game, it's very accessible to the children. It's like marketed toward. So a child could very easily beat a Spyro, like the first Spyro game, with not a lot of frustration, you know? And it's not complicated. Of course, when I first played Spyro, I couldn't really read very well, so I didn't really understand that the balloonist was telling me, "Hey Spyro, you gotta rescue 10 dragons to get to Peacekeepers." I didn't understand that's what he was saying because I didn't want to read. I couldn't read that. That's a lot of big words for a 5-year-old. That's a big hand. Haley, that's huge. What are you doing? Anime artists be like, titty is average size? No, you are wrong. All boob havers have massive bahunkamalunkadoos. These are the best legs I've ever drawn in my life. I'm just gonna put that out there. So, first Spyro, perfect formula, perfect. It was accessible to children and still fun for like older kids and adults even. I feel like all the levels, maybe not all the levels, but most of the levels had really creative level design. And though the levels were short, they had a really good, like, compact, clever design to, like, hide things right under your nose in the levels. There were, like I said, I didn't 100% the game until I was 13. And, like, I could look up how to get a certain dragon that I had been missing since I was 5. Oh, that drove me insane. I was at 98% and there was this, what was it called? What was that level called? Dark Towers. It was called Dark Towers. This level called Dark Towers. There was one area I stood in, like the supercharged specifically, and you could hear the dragon like trapped in crystal right above you. And I was like, whoo! And then the next room, it was like a chamber with a bunch of different doors that you could go into. If you looked up, there was a hole in the ceiling that I knew that I could drop from, like once I got to that area. But I was like, how do I get to this area? So there was a supercharge in one of the rooms in that chamber had like a ramp. And so I was like, okay, I guess I go up this ramp and then it would take me to some place after I supercharge it. No. It was a red herring. You have to go the opposite direction of the ramp and then that's how you reach that secret area. It was insane. I'm going on a tangent here. I'm sorry. I was trying to smack talk Spyro 2. So Spyro 2. Oh, Spyro 2. And Mars, I noticed you said, I think Spyro 2 is the one that nobody likes. My bro played the trilogy and 2 was his least favorite. You know, I know that once I play Spyro 3, I'm gonna be like, okay, yes, Spyro 2 is the worst. But honestly, from what I hear from the fandom, is Spyro 2 is the most beloved for some reason. I don't get it. Because, like I said, first Spyro was really simple. The only, like, dialogue you really got and, like, cutscenes you really got. Not that I have anything against cutscenes. Most of the games I really like are very cutscene heavy, as we all know, because Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game. But when I'm playing a platformer, I don't want that many cutscenes. When I'm playing a platformer, I want to platform. I don't need that elaborate a story. And if you want to tell me a story, tell it to me through the character design. Tell it to me through the environment. So, like I was saying, Spyro 2 is just constant. Just every level opens with an NPC, like a little cutscene, like, oh no, this thing is happening to this character in this world, and then you go talk to this NPC at the beginning. Whoa, I got so scared. I don't know why. I'm so jumpy today.
Was opening the door so slowly?
That's why it's scared. You gotta open it fast. Just bust it down.
I'm gonna kick it down next time.
Yeah. I've been smack talking Spyro 2 this whole stream. That's not true. There was a lead up. I just started smack talking.
You know it's a bad first sequel?
What?
Sonic 2.
Yeah? I don't know if I've ever...
In Sonic 1, all of the levels are designed so that you can use momentum in specific places to like get to higher and lower like paths.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all really like vertical.
Yeah.
In Sonic 2, you can just hold right and win like every level.
God.
You can just go fast. Like Sonic 1, there's like 2 levels you can do that for. With Sonic 2, they're just like, go fast! That's it, you're doing it, you're doing the fast!
You're doing it.
Like, it's a platformer. Where's the platforming?
Yeah.
Sonic 3 brought all that back.
Actual platforming.
And it's the best game because it has the big arms boss.
With the big arms.
Yeah, and it's got that cool song.
Oh yeah. The big arms song.
Yeah, it's just called Big Arms.
I was just saying how, like, in a platforming game, I don't want a lot of cutscenes. I just want platforming.
Right.
And, like, while the NPCs and, like, all the characters in Spyro 2 and 3 are fucking adorable, I don't want that many cutscenes.
Too many.
There's too many. I end up skipping all the NPCs' dialogue.
I'm gonna get back to editing.
Good luck. Yeah, see, 3 being the fan favorite would make more sense. But it's like somebody I was working with described it super well because I asked him, hey, do you like Spyro? And he was like, only the first one. And I was like, why? And he's like, oh, the second and third one are like, hey, Spyro, help me with this thing. And I'm like, yeah. I'm having vague recollections of, like, giving up near the end of Spyro 2. I know I got to the last homeworld. I don't know if I got to Ripto. I feel like I might have. I might have. Excuse me. But it's something about the level design in Spyro 2. It gets better as the game progresses, just like the first game. So the first game, like, the first few levels are very, very simple, not super creative. Like, the Artisan's World has some levels that have a little, like, Town Square has some really sleek, like, simple design, but it's still very simple. What was I saying? Spyro 2, like, so many of the levels are either just a hallway, or I have no idea where I'm going, and there's no indication of where I'm supposed to be going. And I guess that was supposed to be more like, hey, you can explore more. And it's like, no, I need some guidance. That's not just an NPC guiding me to the next room. I need some visual cues to show me where I should be going in the main quest. Like, if you're just gonna make this level a bunch of platforms, I'm going to get very confused. I'm going to get very confused. Would you consider Uncharted a platformer in any capacity? No, I would not. It is not a platformer because there's no real precision. Platformers, like, I don't consider Uncharted a platformer because it guides you. It does use a lot of good visual cues, I think, and it's pretty good at, like, pointing you in the right direction without having an NPC, like, go, hey, we should go over this way, Spyro, Nathan. It has, like, very sneaky ways of doing that. Because sometimes Elena will be like, hey, Nate, dummy, get over here. And that's like, okay. That's alright every once in a while. Ugh. Other than that, I started playing God of War. And, I noticed more modern games require way more of my brain. So I was like, you know what, I want to play an older game. Just a remake. And that's why I got Spyro. And playing the first one required no brain function whatsoever. So I was like, okay. Because I played it so often. But like Spyro 2, I think my main problem is you have to like collect the orbs to activate certain levels and like certain areas and stuff. You need to do that to progress, and all the orbs, to get them you have to do these like painstaking mini games that nobody likes. There are some that I like, most of them I don't. Most of them I get frustrated. Yesterday, I don't even remember what I was doing. But I just remember I just got so like bored and frustrated that I was like, you know what? I only played for like 15 minutes and I just turned it off. It's like, this is just annoying. I don't want to play this. It's not fun. I just am doing it because I paid $20. But I feel obligated to beat it. One, because I paid $20. Two, because I want to play the third one. See if that holds up. Because I remember really liking the third one. It had the same formula, but I think the minigames were funner. And also you got to play as these other characters that were rad. I loved Sheila. She was good, and she was so fun to play as, from what I remember. Sheila. Let me move this boob. Okay. I don't remember what Silas looks like. I'm just sitting here. What do they look like? I don't remember. High tension platformer. Nah, Uncharted is an adventure game. Well, is it technically a platformer? Maybe. I don't think it is. I feel like the platform genre... Why won't this draw? Why aren't you drawing? Oh, because I was moving the booth. The platforming genre is like... I haven't seen a whole lot of platformer games lately, and that kind of makes me sad, to be quite honest. I really miss Naughty Dog platforming games, honestly. Like, Jak and Daxter was like adventure platformer game. And it was so good. It was so good. It was so hard. It was so hard, but Jak and Daxter. Ratchet and Clank too. Like, Insomniac also did Ratchet and Clank. And I feel like, to a degree, Ratchet and Clank had the same kind of deal going on, where you'd have like a main course in a level, and then it had like extra areas you could go to get like bolts or whatever the currency was in that game. Oh, Long John. Sweating. Is it 'cause it's hot? Or I'm nauseous? I'm drawing this peak. I have not drawn Pliskin yet. What's wrong with me? They're so cute. I don't know if their proportions are the same. Maybe I should check that before I start lining. Oh. I'll get you. I'll get you. Society demands Pliskin. Everybody loves Pliskin. I feel bad because, like, within, like, in the draft I have so far, Pliskin is nothing more than, like, a sight gag. And I'm like, oh, how can I involve Pliskin more in the plot? I can't really. Pliskin's just there. Let's see. I think I need to make the head a little bigger, wider, especially. Oh! Have one line where Silas talks to Pliskin for advice. That'd be cute. I think I just need to make Silas altogether wider. They're a little skinny. They're they have a little bit of chunk, and they're not really, like, chunky. They're just... Oh, that's so cute. I'm gonna die. Huh. Sweating. There we go. So the reason I'm doing this and not actually working on something in the game is I've officially reached the point where there's nothing I can work on in the game without spoiling anything. So, that's why we're doing this from now on. Oh! Oh my gosh. You know, I keep talking about streaming Advent Children. I still haven't done that. Maybe spontaneously one of these days. Watch Advent Children as a family on Discord. A terrible movie. It's bad. It introduces some good ideas. I don't know if it executes them the best way. Okay, so I think we're lined up pretty good. Got that peepaws. I actually don't even remember how, like, if Silas even has paw pads or if it's just like a different color. Oh no! You know what? I'm giving them paw pads. My game. I don't think you ever see the open hand. like this. Open palm. Thank you. I love Silas. Don't tell anyone. They're my favorite. I think everybody already knows that. Oh, the horns aren't long enough. So long. So long, Cal. Thanks for coming. I don't even have this. Why did I put this here? I'm a failure. I have this. Ah! Okay. Okay. You know, I don't even know if... We demand Pliskin. No. So, this is kind of, wait, who's here? How many people we got here? Does it tell me? I think it's only you, Mars. You don't get your own personal stream. Welcome. I might actually, like, stop in 20 minutes. But, one time, I drew a picture of Silas that wasn't safe for work. Somebody asked. Hello, Sylvia. Welcome. You walked in on an interesting story that I was about to tell. And somebody asked or requested. I don't remember exactly what they said. Somebody was like, would Silas ever do anything with their snake tail? And I was like, no. 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 What? That's so nasty. Thankfully they were respectful, and when I was quite frankly like, no. They were like, understandable, have a nice day. It's funny to me that, like, most of the questions I get for mixed feelings are about the snake. They're like, do Silas and the snakes share a brain? Do they share the same digestive system? And crazy stuff like this, and I'm just like, Dude, I don't know. I don't know. They just got a snake tail. Leave me alone. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, at least. When people, like, say things that are slightly uncomfortable, and then I'm like, no. And then they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Sorry if I freaked you out. And then it's like, nah, man. Nah, man. Silas is trans femme. They're like the tomboy trans femme. You know, I didn't actually like have any canonical like ideas for like whether or not Kahira was trans. For the most part, like personally, I like Silas is trans and goes by they them. But I feel like people can project in headcanon whatever they like, honestly. Because, like, as far as Peri and Kahira go, Peri to me is, it's just genderqueer. They're just genderqueer. And Kahira, like, the representation I always, like, saw with her was that she's a lesbian. And, I never really thought of her as, like, trans or cis or non-binary. I mean, she goes by she, her. I never really thought about, like, what she is, like, physically, you know? You know what I mean. And then I realized the design, the Batelor, I don't know what it's called, Batelor Eagle, I used the male design. So I'm like, well, I guess now Kahira is just canonically trans. That sounded so upset. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like in a, oh, dang it. But I mean, using that logic, she is trans. But honestly, like I said, there's... Silas is the only one I really, like, thought about a lot. Because, like, the thing is, if you look up, like, the Greek mythological creature, Chimera, I can actually look it up right now. Chimera. No, never mind. So, if you read about chimeras, like specifically the goat and cat, or goat, lion, snake chimera, so usually depictions of chimera had like a lion's mane, but the word chimera, the etymology of it literally means she-goat. The chimera is always described as female, even though it has a lion's mane. So, I was like, oh, chimera is trans. What's interesting, though, is, what was I gonna say? Ears. That's what I was going to talk about. Something about like the way the Chimera was depicted in ancient like art. I think it was like male lions usually had like smaller ears, and then female lions had like bigger ears. So the Chimera would be drawn with a lion's mane with bigger ears. So I was like, huh, that's interesting. I love mythology, y'all. Oh, I brought up God of War, but I never really talked about it. I haven't played it in a while because I've been playing Spyro, but I was having the time of my life because my favorite mythology is Norse mythology. Ooh. Yeah, I might have to cut this off like at the hour point. But there's okay. The first sign to me that God of War was real, like as in it wasn't messing around, was so I see a lot of like Norse runes in media used a lot. Like in the first Thor movie, they have some Norse runes on Thor's axe, on Mjolnir. And it's on the top. I actually had a toy Thor hammer for a bit. Just cause. It was for a cosplay. I wasn't cosplaying Thor, I just cosplaying somebody who had a hammer anyway. Getting off topic. It had those runes on the top of this toy. And I could read Norse runes, so I was like, oh cool. They mixed up so many characters. They mixed up A and F, or the A and F sound. They also mixed up the characters that would be for N and NG, so they used the NG character for N. God, they mixed up so many things. It was insane. I was appalled. Also, they didn't even like spell like any like I guess like Scandinavian or Nordic language. They just spelled out English. And they didn't even do it like phonetically. They just did it like they spelled lightning like Lightning. They didn't spell it out like it would be spelled in Nordic runes. They also did the same thing in How to Train Your Dragon. And that's just a small pet peeve of mine, but when they actually like when they go as far as like, you know, spelling out English words, just like this letter is an F, this letter is an A. I'm like, whatever, that's fine. At least you tried a little bit. When they just mix up so many characters, I'm just like, okay, you're not trying barely at all. What are you doing? That's not the right letter. You just looked up like dragon runes and then flew with it. Went with it. So the reason I was really excited about God of War is all the times I've ever seen runes, they're actually spelling like ancient, like Norse words. There was some runes that said, I think it was, I'm probably getting this wrong. It was either Drouther or Drauper Emi is what it said. And freaking Atreus, my son, my actual son, read it out as that. And then he says, it means death inside. And I'm like, it does! You're right. This is great. They actually use the right words. Granted, I don't really know a whole lot of like this like, but you can tell that that's what that means. It's great. I love it. God of War. The fighting in the new God of War, newer God of War, is it's really fun. I'm playing on the easiest mode possible. You know, that games have like story modes now where it's like I'm not playing this because I'm skilled. I'm playing this because I want to experience a story. That's what I always pick because that's. I mean, I'm not terrible at games, but I don't want to be frustrated. I just want to experience a story, and also the fighting is still kind of hard in the story mode. So I'm like, well, gee. I draw Silas's eyes different every time. Yeah, I'm like wondering if they actually have people that know like Nordic languages, like old. I'm wondering if they have like a team or like people that know their stuff. So that's super cool. I love it. I love it so much because that's such a pet peeve of mine. I hate when they don't actually use, or they just bullshit it. It makes me mad. Like, it's not that hard to put a little bit more effort into it. Come on, like, you could at least use the right characters for, like, spelling out an English word. Go for it. That's fine. Yeah, I like to play games to relax. Sometimes I like to have a challenge. That can be fun. There's this game I play occasionally when I'm feeling spicy. There's this rhythm game called Thumper. And that's when I really want to turn my brain on. It's the hardest rhythm game I've ever played. I haven't finished it. I shouldn't say played like past tense. It's so hard. It's hard to describe. So it's like things come towards you on a track, like a lot of rhythm games, so like Guitar Hero, like Rock Band. So it does that, but instead of just like normal games and having the like notes come at you on a track and then just pressing the corresponding buttons, you kind of have to really zone out and pay attention to when they appear on the track and then press the buttons in time. God, I love Thumper. I suck at it, but I love it. I played the first level in VR and it stole my blood. It's insane. It's so trippy. I'm only like halfway through it, and that's like playing it on and off. Not very often, because I usually just get too frustrated and turn it off. You just gotta reach the 9th dimension of rhythm. You gotta open your third eye and reach the rhythm dimension in order to get good at any rhythm game. You can't just, like, I feel like every rhythm game, not every rhythm game, but most rhythm games have their own individual, like, rhythm and pattern that you need to, like, unlock in your brain. And then once you do that, you're invincible. And you can play anything in that game. I have junk to get done today, but now I want to play Thumper. I feel that that's my problem every day, is I gotta work on commissions in my game. All I want to do is play God of War and take your money. That was a joke. Laugh! Just kidding. Um, I may have talked about this game before on stream. But, my favorite rhythm game ever is Space Channel 5. It's so dumb. And I love it so much. Because it's got everything. It's got everything I love. It's got man-eating plants. It's got the power of friendship and dance. It's basically a game of Simon Says, but you have to do it to the rhythm. I tried to go make a salad on the 8 minutes I had for free time on my Pomodoro timer. I went 13 minutes overtime. I just sliced up my cucumber. Oh no! I need to get back on Pomodoro timers. That really helped with my focus. Today has been a bad focus day. I think my focus is all just screwy because, like, today's a weird anxiety day for some reason. You ever get those? You just... Like, the indicator that my anxiety is just weird today is that, like, at least 2 times today, Case hasn't done anything to warrant me, jumping out of my skin at their appearance, but, I went to go to the door to go get the mail, and they were in the hallway, and I almost died because they were right there. And then like you heard me freak out when they came in. Well, you probably didn't hear me. I just kind of jumped like 2 feet in the air. I didn't yelp or anything. Yeah, it's like... It's not any, like, real reason. It's just, like... Sometimes you just have a weird anxiety day. And you just feel more neurotic than usual. Like, yesterday, it started yesterday. I just had, like, a brain tangent. And I always joke that I'm, like, the opposite of a hypochondriac, that I'm a hyperchondriac. And that's actually a word. It's like when you dismiss your problems so much so, your medical problems so much so that you don't actually end up going to the doctor until something is seriously wrong with you. And that's true to a certain degree, but occasionally I will have bouts of really intense hypochondriism. Because how do you even say it? I know how to spell it. Iatrophobia, the fear of doctors. Sometimes I just have those big bouts because I'm afraid of going to the doctor. Partially because I don't want to find out what's wrong with me ever. So I have these bouts of like, oh my god, I like panic bought like 3 things of vitamins yesterday. Hate when you start getting the anxiety stomach cramps. Yeah, that's probably why I have nausea. It's just a weird anxiety 2 days. You know, like the state of the world right now, especially our country. Both of you are in America, I'm sure. You understand. The state of our country right now is very anxiety-inducing. And, like, it just sucks, man. It's wild because for the longest time, for the past couple years, I got a pretty good handle on my anxiety, but now occasionally I will have those like bouts of just not feeling great. Like this just kind of like not to get like dark and on stream, but just kind of those like bouts of helplessness. Y'all feel me? Oh yeah, totally, Mars. I don't know, like I've had iatrophobia like pretty much my entire life. I don't remember any point as a kid that I was comfortable. Part of the reason is my pediatrician was really creepy. He was really creepy. And that affects you. That affects you, man. Moonpie. What are you doing? Moonpie is here. She's just not making noise. But yeah, I felt like I had like I had a pretty good handle on my anxiety. I was able to like ground myself. I still have I'm glad my anxiety is where it's at today, because if I didn't have any sort of handle on it, I would be a mess. Even more of a mess. Hello, Decidios. Welcome back. Oh, I used to have really bad fear of needles. I still kind of do. It's not really so much a fear as it just kind of like, ugh, I hate it. Oh, I won't like go too in depth because I don't want to squick anybody out. But I have to get like a shot every 3 months. And that is an accomplishment for me, okay? I am proud of myself for this. I am proud that I'm able to do this. Anyway, tangent. So I have to get a shot. The shot sucks. It's not just like, oh, you're done. It's not like a flu shot. Flu shots are kind of like, woohoo, okay. And then maybe your arm's a little sore after. This shot sucks, dude. I don't want to get into detail, but it sucks. Okay, I might have to like give a new appointment with Dennis on Monday, and actually I keep telling myself to not cancel it for 0 reason. Bruh, don't even get, like, I won't even get into that, because that's like the biggest section of my iatrophobia. Okay, anyway, moving on. I don't want to make myself more nauseous. Oh, I can't do tubes either. It's weird. It's weird because, like, most of the fear is, like... Why do we always, like, talk about fears? I guess it helps to, like, process the fears. Anyway, most of the fear is, like, the anticipation. But once you're, like, in it, once you're, like... going in the office or whatever, it's no big deal. And it's not like the actual like act of going to the doctor that's scary. It's like the anticipation, you know? And like I had to give blood once to myself. I can't legally give blood. I mean, I can't give blood in general because I'm too small. I don't know if that's like a legality. Anyway. So, I had to give blood once. And I was so nervous. And leading up to it, oh god. Because so much about like giving blood is like so nauseating to me. This is, like, talking about it right now, I'm fine, but... I'm drinking my stomach ease tea just in case. But once I was in it, I was able to look at everything. No problem. And I was like fascinated. And it's just like the anticipation, like before anything, that's always the anxiety inducing thing. It's never like the actual thing happening. Like once it's going down, it's like, whatever. I don't care. Once it's going down, it's always like, this isn't that bad. Why did I make such a big deal out about this? And that's how, like, most things with anxiety are, I think. Oh man, I just hate it. Getting into weird stuff. I don't think this is weird. I just think this is like, I don't know. I don't know if cathartic's the word. I don't know, I just think it's topical because I feel like that's a lot of where my anxiety is coming from lately. Because I have, like I said, I have those random bouts of like hypochondria that I have because of the iatrophobia. Because I'm like, well, I'm too scared to go to the doctor. What if I die? Yeah, that kind of stupid thing. Brains are strange, and anxiety is really strange. And I grew up a super neurotic child. I was afraid of everything. I was basically Chucky Finster from the Rugrats, and that was my first favorite character because I related to him so much. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the doctor, afraid of every kind of doctor. I was afraid of getting my hair cut. I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid of clowns. I was afraid, oh god, I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the game over screen in Crash Bandicoot 2. Also, I missed your message to Sidios. Saw that through Twitter you were streaming again, so I thought I'd drop in. Definitely be proud, hell yeah. No, you're right. Same way I build up to eating junk food or doing other dopamine hit giving actions give you that pleasure response before you even eat it. Yeah, it's about how you think about it more than the experience sometimes. Conditioned responses. Yeah, like the anticipation of like going on a trip sometimes is the best part of going on a trip. It's not even going on the trip that gives you that good serotonin. It's like thinking about going on the trip. Man, now I'm just thinking about like what a weenie I was as a kid. I was such a weenie. Still a weenie. Still pretty neurotic. Getting better, working on it, but oh, speaking of being afraid to get my hair cut. It's funny because I was afraid to get my hair cut for a very silly reason. Not the same, like, as a kid, I didn't like getting my hair cut because I didn't like people being close to my face. I just didn't like it. Still don't like it. I would only, like, for years, I would only let, like, my mom cut my hair or, like, somebody close to me cut my hair because otherwise I was like, no, I don't know you. Why are you trying to talk to me? And that's pretty much the same reason I don't like getting my hair cut. But, for the past, 10 years now, I think, I've just been cutting my hair myself, and, especially this past year, I've just been wearing a hat. Because I know I don't cut it good. But, like, my main fear of getting my hair cut, because I'm like, I can just do it now, I can just get over it and go and get my hair cut. I'm not, like, actually afraid of getting my hair cut. I just don't see the point in paying money when I can just cut my hair and, wear a hat instead. But I'm like, but I want my hair to look nice eventually. But my fear is that since I've been cutting my hair so long by myself, is that I would go to a hairdresser and they'd go to cut my hair and be like, what? Excuse me? Who did your hair? And now, the funny thing is, like, the kind of, like, this is terrible, the good part of being in quarantine is that the next time I go get my hair cut, and they're like, if they say something like that, I can go, oh, I had to cut my own hair because of quarantine. And they wouldn't question it because they would see that all the time. It's the beauty. It's the beauty of the quarantine. I feel you used to be mega sensitive as a kid. The X-Files theme song would make me cry. That was another fear I had, Sylvia. Every night my parents would have on X-Files, and every night I would tell them, I would go, can you turn it down? And they go, okay, every night. I've never even watched an episode of X-Files. It's probably good, I don't know. I don't watch TV. But, it wasn't the show, it was the theme song that scared me. For a while, when the X-Files theme was used as like a meme, it still kind of is. When it first started being used as a meme, I would have that like knee-jerk reaction of, oh no, turn it down, Mom and Dad. Haircuts are annoying because it's the social anxiety of it. Yeah, you're right. That is it. That's totally it. I just have anxiety. And, I've noticed like a lot of like anxiety, like bumps in the road. Like everybody with anxiety has phone anxiety. We never want to call places. Am I right? We'll do anything to avoid calling a place. I realize like a good way to just attack anxiety head on is just do it. Just do it. Like you feel the anxiety of like, oh no, I don't want to call. Just go. Okay, I'm calling, and then your anxiety is like, ah, and then you just ignore. Today I love the X-Files, but got it. Took me literal decades to get over it. I just want my hair done, bro. Don't ask me about my life story. You're right. Yeah, just imagine Shia LaBeouf saying, just do it! Make your dreams come true! Favorite coping technique is reminding myself you only have to be brave for 10 seconds. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, I think it was this year. It might have been like the end of last year. I have never made a call to order food, ever, because I'm too scared. I'm too anxious. And so one day, I wanted Chinese food. And I was trying to do it through DoorDash, but DoorDash was like, no! And I was like, oh, I was so mad. And, so, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call them. So I just called them, I gave them my order, no problem. And then I hung up. And then I had this moment. I think I almost cried. I had this moment where I was like, oh my god. I could call and order food. This is like the best line art I've ever done in my life. I just wanted to point that out. And soon enough it's over, and if it was really bad, you can go chill for a sec. Quarantine legit made you get over the anxiety of going through drive-thrus. See, I still can't do that. I've gone through a drive-thru maybe twice in my life. Yeah, exactly twice. I hate it. A lot of my anxiety is with like, the reason I have like phone anxiety in the first place is because I have trouble understanding people over the phone. And I'm gonna erase Pliskin over here. So sorry, I'm concentrating. Drive-thrus are a whole mess because you gotta hear like these people through this. I can't understand them ever, and you also have to hear them over like the car engine. But I guess it's like a blessing in disguise because I don't eat fast food. I haven't had. Well, my friend got me McDonald's like a few weeks ago. But I really don't eat that much fast food. It's bad for you. There are two of them. Two of them. It's not ideal. Like, if I had the choice to walk in instead, I would, but now it is so much easier and faster to drive through. It's still really hard if you can't hear the person. Oh yeah. There was one time I did a drive-through Starbucks with my friend, and I don't know what it was, man, but their speaker was crystal clear. And I'm like, okay, if every drive-through sounded like this, I would be eating so much fast food. Silas squared. See, this is my trick that I do with ref sheets. Is once I do the line art, I flip it, and then I highlight outside of it, and I shrink it to the pixel size of the outside line art, and delete everything inside. And now this is when the magic happens. I'm gonna do sketch first because I'm scared. It's scary. You know, I said I was gonna stop, but all this talk about anxiety, it's like validating. Feels good. And the stomach ease tea is helping my stomach. So I think I can make it. Yeah, I actually learned this from Casey. Sometimes you gotta edit it a little bit, but for the most part. Oh no, I'm gonna draw a booty on stream. Hope this doesn't demonetize me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, maybe I can just do... Why is this leg so much thicker? What did I do? Alright, whatever. Someday I'll get better at butts. Art hacks, Spoonie. Booty on stream. Oh no. Goodbye, YouTube. Goodbye, monetization. Kiss it goodbye. Now you can see their nails. Wow, their thumb is huge. I'll fix it later. All the money's just gone. Goodbye. It's fine. I can't monetize my stuff anyway. I don't have enough watch hours. How dare you, YouTube? Lock me out. Okay, I might have to fix that a little bit. A little bit. Okay, for real, I keep saying I could go, but I'm getting like cold sweats. Whew! So I might. Little fluffy layers. I love it. I love them. I love they. My favorite. Moonpie is saying hello. One of the big things I really love about your art is the nail slits. Thanks. I don't know when I started doing that. It just felt very paw-like. I feel like I got that from something. I don't remember exactly what. I feel like there was somebody's persona I was drawing that in their ref sheet. It was like these big clunky paws. Oh man. She's saying hello. I've had a lot of water today. Oh, Moonpie. Why do you do that? She jumps on my lap and then jumps immediately off. I hate it. Anyway. Oh, what is happening with mixed feelings right now? I got Peri's ending done. And it's frustrating because it's like what I coded in. There's a way I can pause certain images for a certain amount of time and then dissolve them into each other. And so I did something like that. And if you click at all during this cutscene thing that I made, it skips it completely. So I'm just sitting here thinking, somebody who's playing the game by like clicking through the dialogue or like clicking every time like to get a new screen up, if once that scene's about to come up you click, then you skip the ending cutscene. I'm just like, no. Your booty on screen. Look at them. One thing I wanted to do, speaking of booties, is I saw somebody did this really cool chimera design with a snake tail, where they actually made like scales on the butt. I don't know if that'll work. Streamline. Really, whatever. If I stay up here, if you jump in my lap, you have to stay. God, I already forgot what I was talking about. Where'd it go? It's gone. Booty. Oh my god. I have the memory of a goldfish today. Silas, they're so cute. They're so cute. Speaking of Buddhists, oh yeah, I was talking about putting like snake scales on the butt. I don't know how much that'll work, but we could try. Wondering if I should also make like a not safe for work version of this. Think about it. Could. But I want to like reiterate that headcanons are okay. Oh man. Yeah, I think here in 3 minutes I will log off and just kind of leave on this. Because one, if it isn't clear, I can't really focus on any one topic. It's kind of hurting my brain. Two, getting that cold sweat. Might be a good idea to end stream early. But I appreciate you guys coming in, even though my energy has been strange. This has been a good talk about anxiety. I feel like, I don't know, we don't really talk about anxiety a whole lot. Everybody has a bit of anxiety. Not everybody has an anxiety disorder. But let me tell you, anxiety disorders really suck. But there are ways, and everybody's different. There are ways you can get over it. And it's not like, oh, just get over it. There are ways that you can manage your life with anxiety. And everybody has their own methods. Everybody finds the ways that work for them. This is my closing out talk about anxiety. But any like mental illness, mental disorder, whatever, what have you, there are ways to live with it happily without having to live with the symptoms 24/7 and just telling people that they need to deal with your symptoms. It is important to be available to people, and sometimes that your anxiety makes it hard to be available to people who need it. And I don't know why I'm getting so deep, having deep talks about mental illness, but I just want you all to know that while mental illness sucks and it's hard to deal with, it is possible. It's hard, but it's possible. And there are many, like, I've been trying several different methods for years, and I've found things that work, I've found things that don't work, and you will find your ways to navigate through life, even though you've been given shitty circumstances to navigate your life through. It's possible. Anyway. I don't know, like, I kind of like repeated myself in several different ways and words, but you get what I'm saying. I just felt it was important to say. Very true, it can be really empowering to take accountability of your health, even though it's hard to get there sometimes. Okay, one more thing I gotta say before I sign out, because we were talking about, like, phobias and stuff. Take a sip of my tea before I get into this. I've been having deep thoughts about this lately. So, like, everybody has their things, has the things that they would rather not hear about, have things that like squick them out, make them squeamish, things that they have phobias for. Like, say somebody has arachnophobia, or say somebody has like a needle phobia. I don't know like the word for that. So there are so many like different, I swear to God, meat pie. So, she interrupted my talk. I'm turning down the music. There was this, like, Tumblr culture for a while where people would talk about, like, things that squick them out and trigger them, and talk about how, like, you know, the whole, like, content warning, trigger warning, tags and stuff. People, like, asking people to tag, like, certain things, like food, kittens, cats, dogs, things that they're afraid of, things that trigger them. And I was all for that for a bit, where I was like, okay, if somebody asks me to tag this, I'll tag this. If somebody asks me to tag this, I'll tag this, because certain people have strange, unusual triggers, and I don't need to ask for an explanation. Now, because there was even that, like, comic that was going around where this person was talking about how breakfast was a trigger to them, and it went into this whole explanation about why, and it was very, like, personal, so, and deep, and it was eye-opening, but that made people, like, defend, like, people, like, having unusual triggers. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have unusual triggers and you should just get over it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it is your responsibility. If you have, like, a phobia or a trigger or something that squicks you out, you shouldn't be reliant on telling people to avoid talking about these things entirely in front of you. You should be responsible for moving past these phobias and triggers and things. And you probably won't ever get over it entirely, but there are ways. There's therapy, there's exposure therapy, that kind of deal. Like, I have a friend who is insanely afraid of insects, to the point where you can't bring them up in front of them. And I feel like them relying on everybody to understand that and not post about bugs ever where they can see it is very unrealistic. And I think it would be within everybody's interest who has things that, like, squick them out or upset them or what have you, to, like, find methods to get over these things instead of having, like, it's like I said, I'm not saying just get over it. It's not going to happen in a day, of course. Like I've said, I had iatrophobia all my life, and, like, these past couple years I have been working on getting over it. And the fact that I'm able to go to a clinic every 3 months to get an insanely painful shot that really sucks, and I'm able to do that with little to no anxiety, makes me thrilled. And that's progress, man. That's progress, baby. Yeah, there's this level of personal responsibility. I have a really specific triggers, and they affect me differently depending on the energy I have on a certain day, my mood, etc. But if it comes up, I just get myself out of the situation. If I got, yeah, exactly. Sometimes I need to, like, bring it up and be like, hey, I understand that you need to talk about this, but this is something that makes me really uncomfortable or squeamish. If we could talk about something else right now, I am getting a little panicky. I've had to do that a little bit, sometimes. So I'll use an example. I had a friend who I opened up about, like, hey, this kind of thing specifically makes me really squeamish and can sometimes send me into a spiral, and I can have a panic attack if it's squeamish enough. And they took that as, oh, anytime anybody brings something up about this, I need to go, ah! That made it worse. That brought attention to the thing that made me uncomfortable. And, like, I just... Man, I've had some friends I've talked about this with, and then they'll be like respectful and they will try to like skirt around the subjects that they know make me uncomfortable. But honestly, I don't want them to do that. I want them, like, of course, not get into like gritty details of things that make me uncomfortable. But if, like, I want them to be able to bring stuff up around me, it's exposure therapy. And sometimes I get squeamish, sometimes I get nauseous, sometimes I get shaky. But it's something you kind of have to like push through to get over something. It sucks. It's hard. It's really hard. But I just wanted to share that. And that there's a personal responsibility with this thing. Now, if somebody, I tweeted about this like yesterday. If you open up to somebody about a phobia you have, and they take that as an opportunity to send you stuff relating to that phobia, they're a terrible person, and you need to stop talking to them. I'm not saying people should be doing that. Don't do that. What are you doing? That's awful. Stop it. Because I've had that happen with me. With several things. Like I said, I was Chucky Finster growing up. And that kind of like made a lot of my like weird neuroses like worse when people like messed with them like that. And that's what made like a lot of my phobias like actual phobias. But I'm not saying do that. I'm saying people should be able to talk freely around you. Like, for example, that woman who was or that person, I don't know if they were a woman, talking about how their trigger was breakfast. And that they shouldn't expect everybody around them to not cook breakfast around them, or not talk about breakfast, or not post breakfast, you know? That's asking too much from people. That's an unusual trigger, and you like, I understand that is a trigger for you because of certain circumstances, but it's asking too much of people, and you really should work on it. Work on moving past that, because that's no way to live. That's no way to live. Is to expect everyone around you to understand that that's your trigger. That's not any way to live. That's stupid. That's really dumb. Even, like, this is a pet peeve of mine. Because I tried to live through my life that way, and it just makes things worse when you just try to block it out. You can't block it out. It's still going to happen. It's always going to happen. You're always going to hear about that thing, especially if it's an unusual trigger, like breakfast, like kittens, like anything like that. You're going to run into these things no matter what. Not everybody's going to know that these are your triggers. Exposure does help. You got to do it with care. I've definitely done exposure therapy well, and then not so well. Oh yeah, you can't do it all at once. You have to do it a little at a time. Because if I run into a post that would normally squick me out, I always like force myself to look at it, force myself to read through it, and then tell myself, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And sometimes I get, like I said, I get nauseous, or I get squeamish, or whatever. But it's something you have to like deal with. You have to hold on to it and go like that. And that's how you can get through a lot of like anxieties, through a lot of like triggers, squicky things, what have you. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I should probably like do a video on that someday, honestly. Okay, I'm leaving for real. Here's this goat cat with a snake tail. I love them.